Hello, everyone. Hi, and welcome to the second part of the Distribution Masterclass. My name is Nadia, and with me today I have Daniella from Ruby Hotels. And the aim of the session today, I guess, is for me to get into the mind of Daniella and talk about commercial strategy, best practices, and Ruby Hotels. So we can dive straight into it. Welcome, Daniella.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for having me, Nadia. Yes, I'm Daniella from Ruby Hotels. Ruby is maybe not as well known to each and every one of you because you're quite an international crowd here. So I'd like to tell you a little bit more about that. Maybe first about myself, from the Netherlands, but leading a large German chain. I'm leading the commercial teams of Ruby Hotels, which involves distribution, of course, revenue management, e-commerce, marketing, sales, reservations, etc. So with Ruby Hotels, we've got about 20 hotels at the moment. We're still a small chain, mainly present in the DACH region, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, but also in Amsterdam, London, Dublin, opening up in Florence, Rome, etc.
Perfect. Now, Daniella, you have worked at a few places before Ruby, right? From independent hotels to Marriott and IHG and HR Group. And at Ruby, I think one of the concepts that I found most interesting is this philosophy you have around like lean luxury, right? So tell me a bit more about Ruby. What differentiates you from other hotels?
Yes, exactly. At Ruby, we put our guests in the middle. So we try to evolve everything around our guests, but also around our team. So our team is very important as well. With our lean luxury philosophy, we aim to make luxury affordable. So offer high quality products at an affordable price. And how we do that is we focus on the essentials, but eliminate the secondary services. So for instance, an essential thing for our guests is sleep quality, of course, having a very comfortable bed, a powerful shower with real water pressure, not having to shower with just a few drops. Of course, a soundproof room, that are things that are very important to us and to our guests as well. Then, of course, a healthy breakfast with barista coffee. And it sounds very easy and common sense always, but there are so many hotels that still offer the automated coffees, which is not seen at a Ruby Hotel. So that's a little bit different to us, where we eliminate services and also then are a little bit more lean in our structures is, for instance, we don't have a restaurant. We do have a 24-hour bar, 7 days a week, so there's always something going on in the lobby. Everyone can come for a drink just before or after going for dinner. But since we're always in very city center locations, our guests love to explore and like to see and taste the local cuisine. So that's something that we save on, and these savings we pass on to our prices.
Perfect. And technology-wise, you're a more lean operation as well, and you have enhanced use of technology. So tell me a bit more about that.
Yes, talking about our lean luxury philosophy, lean is only possible, or offering luxury at affordable prices is only possible if we automate everything to the fullest. So in a sense, we eliminate several services, but we're also very automated. For instance, if you're checking in a Ruby hotel, you don't arrive at the typical check-in desk, but you check in automatically through a kiosk. Your pre-registration is already sent to you by email in advance. Just should we not have all your booking data or arrival data, you can just fill out your, for instance, your invoicing address that everyone always needs to in order to claim their accommodation with their company. You can fill that out while boarding a plane or while in the taxi or in the train on your way to a hotel, and not while standing in the lobby making making an entire queue, not having the exact data with you, needing to unpack your suitcase, etc. So in that sense, we make it easier for the guests, we make it quicker, but also for ourselves. With that automated check-in, payment also goes totally automated. There's no person or no staff in our teams that need to get manual payments anymore. Everything is automated, and therefore there's also no checkout needed. So upon checkout, a guest can just leave the room, leave the hotel, and will receive an automated invoice to their email address. Everything digital, paperless, and very easy. And also this sounds very easy, but I'm quite often nowadays, if I am staying at a non-Ruby hotel and then standing again 10 minutes in line to do a checkout and only actually to give my credit card for the third time, which I already did during booking, during check-in, an authorization is already made during check-in, and then they want to see my credit card again for the third time at checkout, it's actually a waste of time. Then you also need to kind of hope that the receptionist typed in your invoicing address correctly, because they manually typed it into the PMS. There wasn't a whole line of other check-ins at that time, so they probably didn't even have time for that. You need to redirect, etc. So it's just a lot of time that we're trying to save. We want our guests to enjoy the hotel and the travel experience and not burden them with the boring details.
Very nice. And I guess moving on to maybe employee retention as well, you have a very unconventional approach and thought around this. I believe you run a tattoo campaign.
Right,
what is that all about?
Yes, we also experienced a severe recruitment crisis, I would say, just coming out of COVID, like quite a few did in Europe. So we had to become more creative. Now, authenticity, individuality, and also courage are our main spirits and values at Ruby. These are very important, and that's why we ask our guests or our employees to express themselves through their clothing, their appearance, their creativity. That's why we don't have uniforms, for instance, in the hotel, so everyone can be their own self, but we also encourage people to wear tattoos or piercings, funny haircuts, etc. Now, what we did during this recruitment crisis is we launched a campaign that everyone that joins Ruby receives a tattoo on us. So we pay for a tattoo, 500 euros or dollars or pounds, wherever based. We pay for a tattoo. Any employee can choose where and what, of course. And this is a quite unconventional campaign, I would say, not very common. I still remember my hotel days back in the days where tattoos or colored nail polish or piercings were really taboo. So this is where we try to show our team and also our guests that we're a bit different, that we value courage, that we value individuality, and approach things a little bit different. There's something else that we implemented. We've implemented quite a range of new benefits during this recruitment crisis because we just needed to be a bit more creative and also make the hospitality industry more attractive. What we also introduced is the 35-hour week. All our hotel teams only work 35 hours now, with still the pay of a 40-hour week. So for instance, in Germany, full-time week is 40 hours. In Switzerland, it would be 42. They still get paid their full-time pay, but only work 35 hours. So with that, they're more flexible, or the other way around, have a pay increase of 12.5%. Just like this. These benefits had quite a great impact. We only with introducing the tattoo campaign, increased our job applications with more than 25%, just like that. And also the satisfaction from our team improved drastically. So that's that's been very successful.
Oh, that's amazing and very, very creative, if I may say so. Have you taken advantage of the tattoo policy?
I don't have a tattoo myself, to be honest. No, the tattoo campaign, if you wouldn't want a tattoo, you could also get either piercing or a haircut, just for those that don't want a tattoo. That's also totally fine, of course. I already joined Ruby when we introduced it, and since I'm part of the executive board, that's fine for me. It's mainly for our teams.
Perfect, very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about your guest.
Okay, yeah.
Business mix, distribution mix. Who is your guest and where are they booking from? How are they coming to you?
So our guest loves to explore, loves creativity, likes the character and soul that we display in our hotels. So our Ruby hotels are all named after a different character. Our hotels all have female names like Lily, Rosie, Ella. Our co-working spaces all have male names like Fred and Paul and Luc. They all have their individual design and individual character, and this is something that our guests loved, really the story behind the hotels, behind the design, the character and the soul. Our guests love exploring, love creativity. We call them the cosmopolitan avant-garde. They're young in mindset. If we're talking about age, our age average is early 30s, with about 60% between 25 and 44. But we're open to all age categories, basically. It's mainly a mindset because we're so digitally driven, where it depends if our hotel is something for you. Yeah.
Okay, and I guess with that guest and audience in mind, tell me a bit more about your digital advertising and marketing strategy. What tools are you using, what channels, and what's working, what isn't?
What tools we're using? We're using quite a lot of tools. Online is very important to us. If we're just looking at the survey presented by Kristen from H2C just now, where you saw that there was still a large amount of offline bookings. I don't know if you remember the number, but there's still, last year in 2023, 27% of people book offline. Because we're so well structured and lean and automated, we don't offer any offline booking to our individual guests. So we don't take any email reservations, no telephone reservations. We eliminate this entire reservations team that need to manually type in reservations, just as we eliminate the entire front office team in the hotel, and therewith are a lot more lean structured. So we're focusing a lot on digital marketing, a lot on online channels. Our own channels are very important, of course. Utilizing our own website and marketing these with search engine optimization, I would say, is the very first part to start and the most important. But also there where we can't reach our guests with optimization, we pay ads. So Kristen just talked about Google Hotel ads. We use them as well, but also different SEA approaches through Google Bing, but also through our OTAs and social media as well. So we are utilizing a wide range of channels.
Perfect. And I guess I imagine with your kind of guests, it's a bit younger, social media becomes very, very important and influences. Like, how do you manage those relationships? How do you use them?
Exactly, social media is very important. I think the main importance is to bring across what the atmosphere or what the community or the design is like in our hotels, because it's just not a standard, typical hotel. We're a lifestyle brand. So with a lot of content, a lot of pictures, videos, moving images, it's much easier to kind of share our stories with our existing guests, but also with potential guests. And there's no better way to do that as through social media, of course. So we utilize social media a lot. Mainly Meta's channels at the moment, organically, but also paid channels. We're working with influencers as well. There it's very important that these influencers also share our same vision, our same values, and of course have a relevant following.
Perfect. And going back, I guess, to your team, you have restructured, I believe, your digital marketing team. Like, how does that look? I know different opinions vary on this front, so how are you doing it?
Yeah, true. Since our brand promise are two things. One is the creative character of our products. The other is affordable pricing. I needed two teams, marketing and revenue, to do exactly that and really be focused on that. In a lot of hospitality companies, it's very common that the revenue manager, a little bit along the side, does some e-commerce tasks, or the creative marketeer is forced into performance marketing, even though his expertise is more in branding, for instance. And that's why I've just very recently established an entirely new team within the commercial department, which is the e-commerce team, which is working very closely to the revenue team, very closely to the marketing team, because the three of them are basically the key to the commercial success of Ruby. But the e-commerce team is very much performance-driven, also more technical, because e-commerce now, or also digital marketing, performance marketing, is very much involved around tech. A lot of product development or technical product development. So it's really a different skill set where we're growing in. And I felt that we needed to adapt to this need.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I guess moving to a previous point you mentioned, you talked about Google adverts a bit, and Google introduced the free booking links about 2 years ago now, and we saw in the H2C presentation, the impact the DMA has had on that. Do Google free booking links, contribute significantly for you for your own website traffic and booking engine?
We do use Google free booking links, but we don't use them solely. So we use them as a complementary to paid ads, paid Google hotel ads. Google hotel ads we definitely utilize because it's important to be there, to be listed at Google Search, Google Maps, but also Google Assistant. Plus, our third-party partners use ads as well, and it's always good for a brand to be on top of listed on top, of course. So that's kind of a must. The free booking links, just as a standalone, are not high performance enough. So we don't use them as standalone, but really as complementary to the paid ads.
Okay. And I guess let's shift our focus a bit to online channels and travel agencies. What is your commercial strategy on this?
Online channels, yeah. So like I just mentioned before, online channels are very important to us. First and foremost, of course, our direct channel, which is very important. I would say starting with our CRM. It's also very interesting in the statistics that I just saw that CRM is not a huge part of the questionnaire or the statistics. I believe that the CRM is the starting point, really knowing your guests and knowing your guest behavior, because only then we can really provide the needs for our guests and adapt personalized offers. and therewith, of course, increase conversions and sales. So that's a very important tool for us. Our direct channel analyze data and utilize this data to create our strategies or to optimize our products. We've just relaunched at the start of the year our website with a new user interface, which is more guest-friendly, more appealing, and we continuously optimize this channel, of course, such as third-party bookers, booking channels do as well. So that's a very important part. OTAs, we work with OTAs quite a bit as well, and mainly in those markets where our brand doesn't have the brand awareness just yet. I mean, we are a small hotel chain, 20 hotels. We don't have the brand awareness of a Marriott or a Hilton in every market just yet. I'm aware of that as well, and that's where we work closely together with our OTA partners. Where we then again do not work with that closely is, for instance, tour operator, where there's no manual or there's more offline connections, as we just don't have a reservations team that's sitting there and receiving faxes, manually inputting booking data, and that's something that we don't focus on.
Perfect. And any best practices to share with the audience, I guess, especially around your own website and generally on this front?
As a best practice, I would say use your data. I think it was just mentioned in the session just before as well. There's a lot of data available. There's a lot of data from different sources available, but make sure they automate or they update automatically and they integrate into each other so you can easily use your data to base your strategies on. Strategies should be solely based on data, I believe, but I'm also aware that there's still a lot of companies that spend just many days or a lot of time on typing in data from one report into the other, or consolidating different data, or updating every day. There's a new day or a new data available, updating data. What we've built is a powerful database where all our systems are connected to. We analyze or created reportings in Power BI, so it's really just one click and you see everything right there. No need to spend ages on finding data together. So it's once the data is there, it's much easier to base decisions and strategies upon.
Perfect. I completely agree, and I think actually, I think it was yesterday somebody was presenting some data that hotels on average spend 2 days a week, I think, on their data and sorting all that out. I think there was a lot of Excel still being used in the statistics, so not everybody has quite mastered the art of data just yet, but it is very important.
Yeah, I think that's really something that's still very common, especially in the revenue management team. Having been a revenue manager myself as well, I still remember the days where that's the first hour of the day or the first 2 hours of the day is looking at your pickup and getting a pickup report ready. That's basically a waste of time, because that could all be analyzed now, or could all be automated.
Very true, very true. So hopefully soon enough.
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess linked to that, let's fast forward a few years to 2030, which actually is not that far away, which is scary. But what is different in 2030 in your view with distribution and with travel, retailing, I guess, more generally?
Yeah, it's funny. 2030 sounds very far away, but it's just a few years. So I believe there's 3 important trends that we need to watch and will interrupt or disrupt the travel branch greatly. The first is AI, of course. Second is ESG, environmental, social governance, which is becoming more important everywhere. And the third part is personalization, where everyone already now just expects a personalized offer. But that will only become stronger, I think. And just jumping back to AI, with that sense, I believe that we're at a new era of where we had the Nokia and the smartphone, and every channel, whether it's a search engine or an OTA or any party booking channel that cannot keep up with AI, might not be there in 2030 anymore. I think that can go very quickly, and we might be booking through ChatGPT very soon.
Yeah, well, let's wait and find out, I guess. Thank you very much, Daniella. Thank you for your time. Thank you, everybody, for being with us and listening. And on that note, I'll keep you on stage and invite also Julia and Laszlo and Kristen for further discussion on all those topics that you talked about. So
all right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nadia.